Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jesse and take two. Hoping you guys can hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that there's some audio before we get started with the show. And as you can see, it's just me right now, but the other folks should be along shortly. Edwin will be along hopefully towards the end or the middle of the show, and then Chris and Justin will be along. Audio. Okay, cool. Thank you. So hopefully they'll be along here in the next few minutes. I tried to start at close to 8:30. Obviously, we had some technical difficulties, but here we are getting started. Y'all saw the half. Well, it's not Hassle the Half. Oh, no, that's the Hoff. That's a different show. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share that again because I did want to talk about it. This is a really great oh, shit. God. It's a photograph that Bill Sienkiewicz drew, and he posted it up on his Twitter page, and it just really speaks to his artistry, but also we of course lost. I totally just lost my page there, and now I can't go back. I'm having all kinds of issues tonight. Anyways, so this was done. You put it up on Twitter. We lost him at 91 years old. Really iconic character. He was very divisive in what he did. People loved him. Some people really despised him, but there's no denying that he was involved in a lot of things. He was involved in the sexual revolution of the 60s. He was very heavily involved in civil rights. NAACP awarded him an award for a documentary. He the first interview that was done in Playboy magazine was done by the gentleman that wrote Roots. I think his name was Alex Power. It was something Alex something. So he was very heavily involved in those. What's going on, Justin? Can you hear me? Hey. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I don't know if you caught that. That's what I get for trying to start by myself.
Yeah. Hangouts is like, no, sir.
That's right. Not gonna do it. So yeah, I was just basically just showing this photograph. It was done by Bill Sienkiewicz. You put it up. I guess he did it today. I thought it was cool to show. So there you go. Alex Haley, thank you. That's right. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and take that off. So
I did too. I thought it was Rod Sterling for a second, like when I first saw it also.
It looks like him a little bit. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and do some updates. First, kind of what you've been doing since it's just the two of us. But I do want to give a couple of shout outs. So let me go ahead and do that first. Jay, Philly Superman is here with us. If you guys are at all, I'll say we're all in this together in this community, so we all have the same interests, but particularly with Star Trek. If you guys are interested in Star Trek or Star Trek Discovery, Justin, myself, and Philly's Superman and Kat, Comic Uno, had a really fun time yesterday on Media Madness on the Comic Frontline channel, talking about the first two episodes of Star Trek Discovery. We dove really deep into it, the characters, the plot, just kind of like overall what it means for media, the streaming versus traditional cable. And it was a really good time. So if you guys are at all interested in hearing about that, definitely check that out. It is up on Comic Frontline. It's under Media Madness, Star Trek Discovery Vidcast, I believe it's called. So I definitely wanted to shout that out. Jack Yo is here with us as well. He did confirm that he can hear me loud and clear, so I do appreciate that. And I know you are a Valiant fan, so we're going to talk about something with Valiant that we've talked about in the past, but it's now confirmed. And spoiler for that, if you do want to check out the description for the video, we do have it's a bulleted version of what we're going to talk about tonight. So all of the topics are there. Fish Tropic is here. What's going on, man? Rag718, nice to have you as well. And of course, Adam, Comically Flawed, always nice to have you with us. He is our fifth guy here. He's our mod. Don't mess with him or he will give you the boot. I'm telling you, he's serious about that. So what's going on with you? What have you been up to since last Thursday?
Oh man, no, it was a Star Trek weekend for me. I was like in the mood for Star Trek, so I watched a whole bunch of like Voyager in preparation for Discovery. Good fun stuff like that. Had a good Sunday morning comics. Have packages for this Sunday morning comics to open, so it's gonna be fun. And then just picked up books yesterday and kind of started digging into these new big books that came out.
Yes. And that's one thing I wanted to just mention really briefly. Because we're on Thursdays now, what we want to do, and we have a segment set up for this, is kind of I'll pick one book and review it. Obviously, like the big books is Marvel Legacy. I kind of want to say Death Machine. What was it called? I got it right here.
Murder Machine.
Thank you. So those are like big books that came out this week. So, we kind of pick one, but what I want to do is make sure that we're picking a book that you guys also want to hear about. So what I'm going to start doing, and I hope you guys can kind of participate with that, is and I thought I put it up there. See, I'm just going to go. There we go. Okay, so there's my Twitter. It's reversed. It's at ComicsJLS. I'm going to put up a poll each week with some books. I'll talk to the folks here, Justin, of course, and everybody else. We'll pick a couple books to add to the poll, and you guys can vote on which book you want us to review. So it's like what most of you want to hear. We want to make it so that it's something that you want to hear about, right?
Yeah.
So I'll have it there. I'll have a hot link to it on my Facebook, the JLS Comics, the page for this channel here, and myself. But ultimately, we'll all go to that Twitter. So if you want to follow me, and I'm not just fishing for follows, I want you guys to be able to, vote. So it's at ComicsJLS. This week, the vote was Marvel Legacy. No surprise there. So later in the show, we're definitely going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how much Chris loves Venom. Oh, here he is. Hey. So nice of you to join us. So I definitely wanted to just kind of shout that out first. Just make sure you follow me over there. Follow everybody here. I think we're all on Twitter. We're all on Facebook. We're all on all these social medias. So feel free to chase it down all around there. Is that plural? Can you say that plural? I don't know. Social media.
I think media is the plural.
Yeah, I think it's
media. It's like fish and sheep and sheep.
Deer.
And deer and deer. Okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh dear. All right. Cool. So I interrupted you. I think you were telling us about Sunday morning comics.
Oh no. We're good. We're good. We're good.
We're good. All right.
We're
cool.
Good.
Sweet. Right on cue then. Buckshot. What up?
All right. Well, apparently, I was being mentioned before my time, which is cool. No, and I'll set the record straight, and I'll actually say straight out, I do love Venom. I think Venom's a great character, just not movie franchise worthy. That's just my take on that. But for me, this week just been kind of, I guess, low key.
Low key.
Couple of things happened that were pretty cool. A friend of mine actually this morning, had his daughter. So I haven't. He's been dealing with that. Just everybody coming to see him and everything like that. So I haven't had a chance to meet her yet, but just really cool. That one of my best friends from grade school basically. Just had a baby girl, so pretty cool. Allie has a new friend. And then just reading comics, collecting comics, and had a nice back issue haul video that I put up. It's a lengthy one, but it's pretty fun. A lot of cool stuff in there. But other than that, just kind of going through work and all the rest of that day-to-day stuff that we do. So nothing too exciting in the world of Chris, but I'm here today. I'm here to have some fun. So
right on.
Cool. One more thing. I will say, I participated in Strictly Comics. Edwin's not here yet, but I participated in his auction last Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
That was crazy fun. So just, big props to everybody who's showing up that was over there. That was just fun for 3 hours or something we ran.
You guys are selling stuff left and right. You're like, hey, you have this stack of books, here's this.
Wheeling and dealing, man.
That's right. You guys did pretty good. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I kind of meant to do this quite a few episodes ago. I thought it would be cool, but mine's kind of obvious. It's my name, my initials, actually. But how did you guys pick your channel names? Like, what is the significance there?
I'll let Justin go first because mine is kind of it's not even like a big story. It's just the most average story you could ever have, and it just.
Well, that's like mine. I'm like, okay, I picked my initials. Woo, you used your imagination there. Good job.
So all right, I'll say mine then. So my channel name came to be basically, Buckshot 33. You look at it. That doesn't sound like anything having to do with comics. It doesn't sound like anything. I mean, really, it's just a handle that I had given myself just because, anyone who knows me well knows like I'm a big hip hop fan. I love hip hop, and so I was just trying to find something a little different because, I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. I love a lot of different stuff. And so one of the groups I used to listen to a lot coming up was Black Moon and Boot Camp Click and all that type of stuff. So they got a guy in there, Buckshot. And that's how it came to be. Buckshot was the name I chose because he's a great rapper. I like his music and stuff. And then 33, because I'm from Boston, Larry Bird, Larry Legend. So that's how my name came to be, Buckshot 33. And when I started my channel, I just pretty much was like, well, it's just my basically just my screen name, nothing too crazy. So it was just like, I just stuck with it. And, I didn't want to get a new name. I didn't want to really go through all the hassle trying to figure something out that was original because I didn't, I had seen a lot of different videos and people have different names. Different people have similar names. Like some people have the same exact name. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with this because it's original. No one's gonna really duplicate it or anything like that. So it was just easy for me. So like I said, really average story, nothing too spectacular. It's not like I don't have any sort of like it's not my like secret identity. I'm not in the Shield or something like that, which is like this is what you do on the side. Like no, just rapper and Larry Bird, sports icon. That's my name.
Larry Bird's awesome. I love Larry Bird. I used to purposely get, like, in basketball, I would choose the 33 jersey on the team. I'd be like, man, I'm Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry was great. And, he was an awesome player. And unfortunately, his career got cut a little bit short because of a back injury that he had that just kind of got worse and worse as time went on. But, I mean, if you go back and watch some of his highlights, man, he was something special. And you look at just all the stuff he could do and everything. And the best is that I'm not gonna say he's the greatest player ever played because he's not the greatest ever, but he is absolutely in the 80s one of the greatest, definitely top 3 of all time throughout the 80s, and declined in the 90s. But I mean, everybody has a story about him, from Julius Erving to Michael Jordan. Everybody has a story about how Larry put a dagger in their heart. Like he was just that dead-eye assassin who could just win a game when he felt the need was there. So amazing player.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Thanks for that history lesson.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Justin, how'd you pick your Exile State Comics handle?
It kind of evolved a bit, but it kind of started as like when I was getting back into comics, or even when you're younger and you're reading comics, like you never really have like a ton of people around you that also read it for the most part, so you kind of feel like an exile, like you're on your own kind of state, So I just kind of went with that as like we're all kind of doing this, so we'll have our own little state.
There you go. You emancipated yourself.
That's right. I was like, I will just own what this is.
That's right. All right, cool.
I mean, definitely but because of that, and that's how, like I said, that's kind of how it started. I mean, originally I started off just using my name. And then I was like, I should make a different channel. So did that and kind of moved on. But it's, you know what I mean, it's brought in like so many new friends and things like that, starting off feeling like, you know, kind of an exile to now it's like this massive community of like awesome people that you get to talk about comics with every week.
Yeah, it's pretty damn cool, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Gene Polly's Peter. Not Gene Policepiter or anything like that. It's Gene Polly's Peter. He mentioned he's reading this, so shout out to him. Old FOOM came back. This is a really great magazine. This was out in the 70s. I actually did a video a while back about Wolverine and his whole life and history before Hulk 181. So obviously, you know, that's considered his first appearance. But there was a contest in the original FOOM, and somebody submitted an image and all this. You know, there's a ton of stuff, but there's a lot of history to FOOM. Some really amazing covers, some cool things. There's something that's revealed in this actually, and we'll mention that a little bit later. But I'm really happy actually. You know, they're talking about having all these like, you know, things come back that we all knew and loved, you know, from bronze and silver, copper age type of stuff. And FOOM is one of those. So it's cool to see it back.
Yeah.
So
I want What If.
And it's free.
I want What If.
I
want What If.
Exactly. What Ifs are great. I love like the 2-in-1s, you know, those types of things. And I know those were kind of created out of necessity. Right? I think it was early 50s. I'm sure someone will correct me. But Marvel had lost one of their publishers, or their distributor, I mean. So they were cut down by a lot of books. They were actually picked up by the same distributor that was distributing National Periodicals, which is, you know, what DC became. And they limited them to like 8 or 9 books or something. So to kind of counter that, they had put a couple characters into one book. So that's why you got all these pairings. And then eventually they were picked up by Cadence, another distributor. And that's when you saw them all kind of like split off into these, you know, from the 2-in-1s and stuff, Marvel Tales and all this stuff, over to each one being its own book, right? So a little bit of history there, but I think it's pretty cool. Not Brand X is coming back. Yep.
Yeah, and I never read that. Now that was, I guess that was like what the predecessor to like What If, because I know there was What If, What the, and I know Not Brand X, and I was just curious which one came. I think I want to say Not Brand X came first. Like that was like the joke book, kind of like the Mad Magazine type book, right?
I think so. I never really got into that myself, but I think that was like the predecessor to the What the.
Okay.
Kind of what I think, but.
And then What If came out, all those, right?
Yeah.
So
he has a question. Are either of you, and I'm not, are you going to collect the new MVSs, the Marvel Value Stamps? They're a little bit different. You don't have to cut them out. They're stickers. You can get a separate book, and you can actually, you know, collect them in a separate book. And then the other differentiator there with the books is that with the lenticulars, you won't have the stamp. You have to get the regular cover to get the stamp. So that's, if you're going to collect them, just keep that in mind, that, you know, the lenticulars are always in the news. We've been talking about them for weeks, but you know, if you want those stamps, those are not the ones to get. So I guess that goes back to you guys. Are you going to be picking those up?
I mean, I don't know that I'm going to do every lenticular cover that comes out, so I probably will pick up some of those. I haven't even given any thought to whether or not to take the stamps and you know, collect them and all the rest of it. But I do find that to be kind of a smack, though. It's just like if you buy the lenticular, like no, you know what I mean? Just because that kind of, by putting the stamp in there and making it exclusive to non-lenticular books, I guess that's their way of, or their ploy of getting people to buy those books, so that they can say, well, now we can justify the sale of the lenticulars because we said we needed to buy X amount of, you know, regular covers in order for this to happen. So I don't know. I mean, dude, if you peel the sticker out, I mean, it's too early to tell now what they're gonna determine it as. But is it like, I'm curious, but like not a complete book because the sticker's gone and all the rest of that type of stuff. But
I think it'll be like the most you can get is a 9.6 on it.
I mean, that 0.2 of a point is just.
I don't like it because now it's gonna make me buy like the lenticular and the regular crap.
You know what? My thing is, that's cool. Give us the stamps. Give us whatever you want. But none of it matters if the story's not good.
Right.
Make sure, first and foremost, that we got the good damn stories and the good damn art and the good damn whatever before we get the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, like I said, I'm not going out of my way to get any books that I wouldn't normally get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to get Thor. I'm going to get Daredevil. I'll probably get lenticular and the regular just for that fact. But I'm looking through the list of all the relaunches and things like that. A lot of books are remaining the same. So there's not a ton of new stuff to jump on, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely some characters that are getting, so for example, like Silver Sable and stuff like that. Like she's gonna get her own book.
But it's a one shot. The one shot
for that though.
Okay. And say, I mean, there's certain.
I know why. There's a movie coming out.
Huh? There's certain things that are kind of intriguing and with some characters, and I'm like, all right, this could be kind of cool, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know that my list of books is going to change all that much, but we'll see. You know, it's going to be interesting to see where they all go forward with it. But I'm with you. Like the story's got to be good. Like you have to have something solid to back up all this, or else, I mean, this is just going to be all for naught. And I'm hoping that they really have a good solid plan to move forward. That doesn't just involve being like, all right, big money grab time. We'll get everybody to buy these number ones, and then 3 months later, half of the new launch titles have been canceled because nobody's buying.
So, well, I mean,
yeah.
But it also depends. Like with Legacy this week, if you got the regular cover, you got a cool fold out instead of the lenticular. So it was like you had to choose, what was cooler to you,
Yeah.
I ended up with 3 covers.
Oh no, they got you, Jesse. They got you.
If I could have found the Alex Ross one at my store, I would have bought it. But that went without saying. They almost got me to buy the Greg Land one. And then I was just like, I'm just taking the lenticular and getting the hell out of here.
I'm sure I won't keep all 3 of these, but
Yeah.
It was right. When you see a good opportunity, you got to seize it, right? If you see a good price, if there's a book that's going for a lot more online and the shop selling it for cover price, why leave it there? Okay.
Exactly.
So,
that's what I was thinking with the Greg Land. I'm like, I was like, because I saw, everybody at this point goes in with their phones out and just be like, all right, variant covers, multiple variants. Which one? I know you hit right to eBay and be like, which one is selling? Oh, this one? All right, cool. I'm going to pick up, a couple of these and, sell one of them or two, But it's the same thing. I was just like, Greg Land variant. Let me check this out. I was like, it's going for basically cover price of maybe $1 more. I was like, not worth it.
That's not worth it, no.
Yeah.
Because once you get the fees, the shipping, and all this and that, the time involved,
exactly.
The actual the items you use for shipping, right? That's going to end up costing you more than that $1 you would have made.
Exactly.
So, you get tape, you get the actual packaging, you got whatever else. I don't know. I don't want to just go on about that, but you get the idea. Yep. So, all right, cool. So let's just jump into the topics for tonight. The first one I thought was pretty neat. Chris Pratt's helmet from Guardians actually sold at auction earlier this week. It was part of a annual auction by a London, prop and memorabilia house, and it's called Prop Store. You can find them online. They were projected to sell about like $2 million worth of stuff, and it was from all these different franchises like Aliens, Star Wars, of course. Indiana Jones was in there. Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. All these like really iconic classic franchises. And one of them, of course, that came out is some more recent stuff. So Guardians, I'm going to call that a franchise now, I guess, MCU franchise. So the helmet, it was actually worn by him, and it sold for $160,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. $160,000. I'm actually going to screen share a couple photos of it so you guys can see. And this is coming from, shameless plug, comicbook.com.
I was thinking I read an article about that somewhere.
Yeah, you might have read that earlier this week. Certain someone. Wait, present to everyone. There we go. All right, so this is the helmet. This is the actual one that he wore in the movie. That's the side profile. That's the back of it. That's the other side. That little thing in the middle there, that's actually the inside of the helmet where all like the padding and stuff is. There's like a little there's a little stamp that says like Marvel and something else in it, but that's like the inside of the helmet, what you see when you put it on. Front fascia, and then like a 3/4 view. So there you go. $160,000.
That's a lot of money, man.
Pretty crazy. I think that's actually unprecedented in terms of, I mean, there's been some like older, like much more iconic, historically significant type of, memorabilia, but in terms of like recent stuff, that's an unprecedented amount. That's like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had projected like 2 million something, but they actually sold over like $5 million worth of this stuff. So we always talk about like comic books, like statues, being a lot of money, certain comics being a lot of money, but like the movie prop side of this, it's like a whole not burgeoning because it's been around for a while, but especially with the superhero stuff, there's some big money there. And if you're like a really diehard fan, like if you love Guardians or you love Peter Quill, like that's like the next level type of like fandom collecting,
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think about, you're saying like other franchises like Star Wars and stuff like that. I mean, just think about, like a Boba Fett helmet or something like that. It's just like, those type of things absolutely sell for huge money. So,
they were selling, I don't know what they're called, like clips from the actual film.
Oh, the cells?
Yeah, cells. Yeah.
Yeah. Cells, like I think those are a little bit more common, but like one item that comes to mind, and it's not really sci-fi, but it's a movie thing. Is if you guys watch Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley's jacket. Disney had that on display at I think it was the Great Hollywood Ride or whatever the hell it is. They had that on display there, but I know that at one point or another, I don't know if that's the original jacket or if it, like if there's multiple of them out there. But I know that Detroit Lions jacket, it's a big ticket item. Like if you for whatever reason happen to have like a movie one jacket like that, let's say from like maybe even just the last one, the third one, you know what I mean? It will go for a huge price. It really is pretty crazy. And actually, Jackie O had pulled a thought right out of my head. Imagine how much that Infinity Gauntlet that Josh Brolin, wore at the Comic-Con is going to go for, or the one that he wears in the movie. Like, you know what I mean?
The screen one. I'm sure that is like, there's probably like a couple dozen of them, just like in different stages of like wear and, wear and tear on it and stuff,
Exactly. It's just,
$160,000 for that though. That makes that, $20 one at Target look really nice.
Yeah.
The funny thing too is that, so the only people I can see having access to something like this would be just like the studios themselves, or like you said, like if there's a costume company, so it's something that works within the movie industry that was like, okay, we can sell this off and make some money. Like, I mean, it would be extremely rare to have just a regular person have something like that just laying around. Like, got a Han Solo's blaster just chilling, the one from the movie. Yeah, this is Empire Strikes Back blaster. Because, I mean, most people would be like, so you stole that from somebody, because there's no way you have that,
That's right. There's some celebrities like Nick Cage or Ben Affleck, who were like actually really big comic fans as well, and they would have the money for something like that, and for it. So I could see somebody like that buying this, and I don't know who the actual buyer was, but I wouldn't be surprised if it like was like, hey, Nick Cage bought this thing,
Right.
Yeah. That would, I mean, I would say that too, like some celebrity, something like that, but like, no, trust me, no one's gonna come on and have a holiday. I'm like, and I got something really cool for you guys. You'll never believe it. Star-Lord's mask.
Yeah, right. That'll be on Sunday Morning Comics this week. Shh. Oh, crap.
Don't spoil things, man.
Whoops.
I had to mortgage like 3 of my souls to get that.
All right, cool. So, all right. So, yeah, a lot of money there. Pretty cool helmet, but a lot of money. So the next thing we wanted to mention actually was that there's been some rumors, and we're getting really close to The Last Jedi, the movie, Star Wars The Last Jedi. The trailer's got to drop soon. It's got to be coming out, We have a few months left, not that much time. So the talk right now, and this is, again, it's a rumor, it's not confirmed, is that on 10/9, during football game, Monday Night Football, that the trailer might drop for the movie. And there was a tweet by Mark Hamill, and just to preface this, he's been known to troll, like actively troll, just having fun. He was telling everybody to go get Star Wars Volume 1, issue 49, which is the one that says The Last Jedi on the cover, and there's spoilers in it. But if you've actually read that issue, he's just bullshitting around. So this may be another case of that, but it does kind of make sense that they might, do something for this. ESPN, of course, is owned by Disney. Huge viewership for football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can't do a Monday show because we keep competing against that. No, in all seriousness, though, it is owned by Disney. Tons of people watch it. And they did it before, actually, the same type of thing when The Force Awakens came out. The first official, full-length trailer dropped during a football game, like in the middle of it. So I'm hoping it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Luke Skywalker trolling again.
Well, you got to build up the hype for that. I mean, you got to get that out there because, like you said, I mean, it's at that point it'd be a little more than 2 months before the movie comes out. It's just like, you gotta get the people. I mean, not that people aren't gonna go see it. Of course, people know it's coming. They can't wait for it. But still, it's just like, just to kind of reward everybody for their anticipation and their patience. I think it's only right that you give, you have the trailer come out now rather than make it wait until, like Halloween or like, mid-October. That would I think kind of like would be bad marketing. I think right now is probably a great time just to get people excited for it.
Yeah, Last Jedi comes out, I think it's December 15th, so that would be right about 2 months prior. So that would be a really great time to they've been slowly kind of getting the gears in motion for their whole marketing machine. Yep. But 2 months out is a perfect time to really kick that into high gear. So I think that would be, perfect time for that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have everybody getting hyped, and then you can get all the merch out for Halloween, all the,
absolutely,
everything. Yeah. So.
And the big thing, too, is, I mean, I know you roll the toys out maybe, like, a month or so before, but, I mean, just to get people excited for, like, everything that comes around with it. So it's just like, maybe you don't have Halloween costumes for it, but you do have, toys and things coming up. So now, as you head towards the holidays, it's like, oh, okay. Movie comes out and people are like, I want this toy and that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just pretty much a crazy, they'd be dumb not to, kind of get the ball rolling at this point. 2 months out, that's the perfect time for it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of along these same lines, actually, it's very similar. Inhumans comes out tomorrow on TV. A two-hour premiere.
Bad idea.
Friday, I know.
Graveyard for TV shows. Go for it.
So there's talk that the Infinity War trailer might drop sometime during that 2 hour time period, either there or I want to say Jimmy Fallon, which would come out later in the evening. So one of those. So there's talk that it might drop. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did. So I'm kind of thinking that would be cool, but also we have some movies like coming out a little bit before that. So like, you know, Thor Ragnarok, you know, maybe give us some more of that. I don't know. But I kind of see like how it makes sense, you know, the movie. The show sucks. I think that we've all heard that. The time slot is not great. So dropping something like this and having people talk about it is kind of a way to draw in some viewership that you wouldn't otherwise ever have. So
and
Jimmy Fallon, thank you. Yeah.
So simple enough. You just, you know, have somebody, you know, Josh Brolin or just somebody from the cast on there, you know, talking this and that, and like, oh, like, you know, just so happens we have Josh Brolin here. Like, oh, let's roll this clip real quick. You know what I mean? So if it's gonna help him with viewership, whatever. But I mean, I think it would be better if you did it. You know, actually, a great place to advertise would be like the World Series or like just baseball playoffs, something where you know people are going to be tuned in to watch. That would be a great time to drop a trailer like that. You'll have a lot more people watching, and you know, because it's prime time, you know, in a big event, you'll drop a lot more buzz than, you know, everybody having to go to YouTube just to see it, who misses it from the night before and everything, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering if it will be. I think we all saw it. I don't know if you guys saw it in the chat or if you're watching this later in the comments. Let me know. But did you guys all see the San Diego Comic-Con, the camera footage of Infinity War?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked good.
I mean, yeah, the quality wasn't like.
No, the quality looked terrible. but the trailer itself, there was a lot that was tied into that, and it was just kind of, you know, I think for me, the two best moments of it were when Thanos finally came out and you saw how scared everybody was, and then I think Star-Lord has the best line. He's like, "Oh no," he goes, "Oh man," because like he knows that like it's all over, and then later on when you see, it looks like Spider-Man's either like crippled or dying, and he's like crying. He's like, I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry. I was like, that you know, those definitely drew you in. So
and there was that one scene where he was on the school bus and you saw like the hair on his arm rise up, like the spider sense, because that was one of the things that everybody said with Homecoming, like, he's Spider-Man, where's his spider sense? Like, how did the Vulture swoop down on him without his spidey sense going off, you know? So that was cool to see that.
And then you know, just in general, I mean, the trailer itself has been kept under such tight wraps, or at least that's what they, you know, tried to do. So I don't know if they're gonna give us a little bit more, or if it's just gonna be that same trailer out there with just better quality. I would hope that they give us something a little more, just because, I mean, being that it's been leaked for a few months, you know, there's really nothing that, you know, it's not gonna get me to really be more excited than I am for it, other than, I get to see it in better quality. Great. You know, I want to be able to actually see. Exactly. I don't have that girl's head in the way anymore. Like, you know, this is kind of cool, but I want to at least have a little bit more, something that, like, you know, that doesn't explain the story much more, but just give me like a little bit more to, you know, really whet my appetite.
Yeah. So I'm going to be watching the Inhumans. I was going to DVR it, but I'm going to be kind of like popping over to the TV periodically just to see. So I think maybe I'm kind of falling prey to some of the intent there, but
well, you know,
we'll see.
The funny thing, I mean, at least it's getting its chance to be out there, because they were saying, or the rumor was that it was canceled, but like it wasn't even going to see the screen. Like that was it. Like it, you know, it had been so bad, and what people had you know, seen of it from the trailer and just rumors and different things, that they had you know, just straight out canceled. It was already done. So at least it gets to see a little bit of the light of day. You know, I don't know how long. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably try to see if they can run it for the full season. But if the ratings are really that bad, they might take it off early just because, it's clear that nobody wants to see it, and it's clear that I think it's clear that they should have just kept a movie as they were proposing in the beginning. I think that making it into a television show was a big mistake, and a movie would have suited them a lot better.
Yeah, but there's kind of no place for it in their whole kind of general narrative that they have going on with the MCU.
Yeah.
Like I don't see where it would fit into where they're going right now.
Well, that, and then they built it up so much in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that like they really can't do a movie out of it. I mean, unless it was like a TV miniseries or something like that, then you could get away with it. But you can't, with it being the way it is, it has to be a television show just because of, all the buildup that's been on television for it. So.
I kind of feel like people were misinterpreting what that rumor was. It wasn't kind of an official thing. It was just, people talking, but it wasn't that they were going to never air it. It was that they were going to air the first season and then that would be it. Like they were not like canceled meant they weren't going to commit to a season 2.
Yeah.
Right. Like play out what they have, play out what's already been done. And then that's it was kind of how I read into it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes more sense than initially. Yep, we're not going to put it on because it's like, people have already been paid. The actors have been paid.
Yeah.
Shot. I mean, you put all that effort and time into it. Somebody's going to see that shit. Like, I don't care if it has to come out straight to DVD. Like, it has to. It's just like you have to get your money back on your return. Exactly.
And Justin and I were talking a while back, too. Well, not a while back, a couple of days ago about, like, it's only been on IMAX. That's the only kind of, like, ratings and data that they have to go off of. There's no TV data. There's no Nielsen. There's no nothing there for them to say it's a success or not. So it really doesn't make sense at all for them not to put it on without anything, even like a +1 or +3 to go off of.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think that I think that they have to at least put it out there and see what happens. It might be terrible and only get one season, but I mean, who's to say that this fall season's television might be so boring and terrible that you may actually look forward to it and like it's not so bad. It's only an hour of my time. I can dig it. It's not that bad. I can sit through it.
Yeah, I'll at least DVR it if I can't watch it like as it's on tomorrow night. I hope that it's better than we think it's going to be.
I have a real
that's all I can really say is like we've only heard negative things about it. So if there's anything good in it other than Lockjaw, then it might have some saving grace, but who knows?
Well, what about Medusa having a shaved head and everything? Like, is that I was curious if that was just done for for visual, like, this is just a shot from on the set so that they can actually like make her hair and stand out and be crazy like in the show. But I was gonna say if she has a shaved head, then she's basically useless. Like like her hair is her power. Like what does she do without it?
Yeah. I kind of feel like they did that for budgeting. Like we're out of CGI money, so let's just shave her head so we don't have to use CGI anymore.
We're gonna make her useless. It's all right. We need a damsel in distress.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that in a later show, what we thought of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll feature highly at some point. Love it or hate it. We'll definitely let you all know. Yeah. So the next thing I thought was pretty cool, that something that's coming back for DC is the line for Milestone. It's actually, they're going to be announcing it at New York Comic-Con, but not at the DC panel. They're going to be announcing it at a panel that Robert Kirkman does called The Secret History of Comics. Are you guys familiar with the Milestone line? It was kind of like it was canceled for a while. You got people like McDuffie, Cowan, Michael Davis, and they had all these, characters of minority. Like Hardware was one of them. I remember.
Icon,
right? Blood Syndicate was in there.
Static in there.
Static was in there, exactly. And I think there was another guy. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Yeah, I know there was more. Hardware was like the one that I just always remember seeing that Hardware cover.
Yeah, you see them all around. Like if you're going through the dollar bins and stuff, you're gonna see these, and like keep those in mind. It's really cool to see that come back. And at first I was like, why are they not doing it at the DC panel? But it really makes sense that it's part of the history of comics. It's pretty significant in that like this whole line was dedicated to people of minority. You know what I mean? This diverse cast of people. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see that. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out. The panel and then the issues when we see them eventually.
Right.
So Deadpool says they need to do something with Icon. I agree. And let's see here. What do we got? We got Deadpool again. He agrees with Flawed. Going back to what we were talking about with the Inhumans. Philly Superman said that it all stems from a website, some site that listed it as they showed an image, and instead of saying like the first season or season 1 like they typically do, it actually said the complete season or complete series rather. So people extrapolated from that's all there's going to be. That's the whole thing, right? But again, that's the full season. That's all the episodes. Yeah. That's not like they stopped at 2 issues and they're done, right? So even there, I mean, it still indicates that there's a full season to show.
Yeah.
But that's just people inferring things off of a still image. So there you go. All right, cool. So Milestone is coming back. New York Comic Con's coming up. We'll learn a lot more about that when that panel shows. And again, I think it's cool that it's going to be done at the Robert Kirkman panel. Right? I mean, that's pretty neat.
Well, that means there's definitely going to be eyes on it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Jackie says he remembers liking Hardware. He was kind of like Iron Man. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. So the next thing here is that there's been a bunch of news dropping around what's coming after Legacy. Who's going to be on what book? What's going to happen there? There's been, I think we mentioned it, and we highlighted that it's a rumor, was that Dan Slott was eventually sooner rather than later going to be coming off of Amazing Spider-Man, which he's been on for freaking forever, and going over to Spectacular, I think it was, and that potentially Nick Spencer would be coming on to Spider-Man. But that's not true.
Nope.
It turns out that Dan Slott is going to be on this book for the foreseeable future, for what they say the long haul. So it was actually Tom Brevoort, one of the big wigs over there at the House of Ideas. He said, "I think that depends on what you mean by the long haul. Some of them, such as Dan Slott on Spider-Man, and you'll like this, Justin, Jason Aaron on Thor, have already been on for a long time, and they will continue to be." So that tells you that Dan Slott is going to be staying on Spider-Man for we don't know how long, but he'll be there for a while. And same with Jason Aaron. He's going to be sticking around on Thor.
No, but that's a good thing, though, because, that suits, a good team, a good creative team to be able to stay on a book and make it good. I mean, it can be a double-edged sword too. You could have a bad team that's, just sitting there and making books. I mean, let's put it this way. If it's not your cup of tea, but these guys are doing well and, the book's doing well, things like that, then, yeah, you might be, dropping a book that you normally would be picking up because you just don't like the way the story is being written or something like that, But on the other side of it, though.
How long has Dan Slott been on Amazing Spider-Man now, though?
It's got to be like, what is he? He's more than 5 years doing that book.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, he's up around 8, right?
No, at least.
Better part of a decade?
Yeah, he came on right after JMS, right?
Yeah.
Right after Straczynski. And that would have been like...
Dude, that was
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, my gosh.
I would say a decade. He's been on that damn title, a decade.
I wonder if the heat's died down on him to, do anything with Peter and MJ since we have Renew Your Vows now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
geez. All right, cool.
But
Yeah.
I am a fan of like if you have a good creative team, just let them work. Like don't interrupt, don't mess with anything. Let them tell their story, and then see how it plays out. And then at the end of their run, have like a nice big kind of send off issue, and then let someone else take over for it. But I think that that's probably a better way to go about it. You don't have as much kind of just jarring changes that make people really like want to cringe and be like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, the whole globalization of Parker Industries, and he's like a billionaire now, and like he's basically Tony Stark. I knew it wouldn't last.
Right.
I just really didn't like that. Like I like like the grounded in New York City Spider-Man who's got all these troubles. He's having a hard time balancing his marriage, his school life or whatever it is. Like that's the Spider-Man that I want to read about. But
isn't it funny though that wasn't fixed at the end of Secret Empire?
Yeah.
Like reverse Doc Ock back to nothing, and then it was Peter still had the cup. Like they didn't do that.
Yeah, there's a couple different things that they've kind of left out there, like loose threads hanging.
Right.
Yeah. And then Ock blew up the Parker Industries building, which was actually Johnny Storm gave him that. That was the Fantastic Four building.
Yep.
So that was completely destroyed. So whatever happened with Johnny and the Thing, or whatever happens after that with other characters who we've seen recently, if you know what I'm talking about, they're gonna need a new building.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then actually, Sean, Gene Polly's Peter was reading this. There's a couple reveals in here. One of them is about the Avengers. So the Avengers, there's a couple different titles, and they're actually going to be kind of like blending them together until they become one title. It's going to be one Avengers title, and it's going to be a weekly for a while. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So like U.S. Avengers, Great Lakes Avengers, all this stuff is, here it is, U.S. Avengers. It's an interview with Jim Zub, Al Ewing, Mark Waid, and they're talking about it. And it's kind of all going to be like the three squads are going to be coming into being just one book for a while. So I think that's interesting. That's all in this. You guys got to pick this up. It's free if you haven't read it.
I got one for free. So they were giving them out at my local shop, picked up for free, and I'm just like, oh, it's free. So it's pretty battered and bruised already. I'll probably have to get another one big. This one's nice and
I didn't get that. I got the free Marvel Legacy Spotlight that just has like previews of a ton of the books.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I really like that.
I was like, yeah, take one. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, you get like, I don't know, what, 12 or 13 or so of the different books. Like there's Venom, Cable.
Yeah,
you get the first few issues. You get the first few issues of the stories.
Yeah.
And, it's really helpful that you can see the art of these books before you pick them up. Because like Falcon does not look good.
Yeah.
Well, Falcon was weird.
I'm looking good. We're talking about like stuff coming up with Legacy, and I'm kind of like, I want to make sure I get this in the camera right. I'm really looking forward to this. The Captain Marvel.
The Captain Marvel Thor cover.
Like the covers are amazing. The graphic novel, it's a super iconic cover. And I'm really curious, like with these legacy characters, Jane Foster is one of my favorite ones of them. So I'm really curious what's going to be happening with that. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to bode well for her, but they'll always be creative and find a way to keep her around. But I'm curious about that one. So that's kind of one of my like most highly anticipated of these upcoming covers.
Well, I want to say they established that pretty early on. Like once she takes off her helmet and it's her, that it was either the power of Thor was killing her or Mjolnir was killing her. So something was killing her. So I mean, it's almost kind of funny. It's almost like she has cancer or something like that.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
she has cancer, and she was taking medicine for it. And every time she wielded the hammer, it wiped out everything that the medicine did and kind of progressed the cancer further.
Yeah, so I mean, it only makes sense that you have her, use that cover swipe because that's what killed the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but they've already told us that she's not gonna die.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where, she dies per se, and then
Right.
is reborn with that power, and it's just like, okay, so now she's no longer really Jane Foster. Now she actually is, a goddess Thor. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm thinking that's what they'll do. They'll just turn her into an Asgardian.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Slott's going to be around for a while. Aaron's going to be around for a while. Avengers combining. So we're kind of like into the whole legacy thing. So you guys read Marvel Legacy, the one shot, right?
Yep.
What cover did you get? Did you get just the regular one?
Nope, lentacular for me.
Yeah.
I got the fold out because Daredevil and Thor are on the back.
Ah, okay.
And I just like the big massive fold out.
Yeah. I got the party one. Terry Dodson.
I saw the party one.
Yeah, it's this one.
With Mary Jane, and she's like, woo!
Yeah. So let me because it's small, the little box. I got a couple different ones. God damn it, I just did it again.
What? What's that?
Can you see me? Oh.
Yeah. See.
I clicked on the wrong thing.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the party variant, Terry Dodson.
Yep.
Move this back a little bit. And then this is actually the sketch variant of it.
Nice.
Oh, see,
This
I
is
didn't see
a-
a sketch variant.
It's a one per store.
Hmm.
So these went pretty quick. They're not going to be a whole lot of those around. And then also I got this one here. It's the Marvel Legacy, the Casada cover, but it's the sketch fade one. And this is actually a two per store.
Nice.
So see the fade there?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's another one. I don't know if there's like a ratio forward or whatever. There's another one that's just a full on sketch one. And I think that one's like pretty like super high ratio, like 1 in 500 or 1 in 1,000 or something crazy. But yeah. So those are the ones I got. And again, I'm probably not going to be keeping all three. So there you go. But let's jump into what you guys thought of the story for it. You know, what'd you come out of reading this feeling?
I thought it was pretty cool. Like I read through, it was different from what I was expecting initially. I didn't think it was going to jump around as much as it did, but it was pretty good. I think my favorite part of the book was the fight between Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes and Starbrand. And I know they did that kind of to try to tie in, I guess, that 1 million BC storyline, which actually, I was kind of curious about how they were going to do that. And I actually liked the way that they had done it in that book. Like I kind of, I liked the way that they interacted. I liked the way they talked with each other and everything. And I like how everything, with those, there's still a little bit of mystery. But they're all familiar with each other, which is pretty cool.
Right. Hang on 1 second real quick. It is only Thursday. So there's a couple kind of big things that happen with the issue. So let's avoid those because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I know that Comically Flawed, he just said in the chat that he only picked it up a couple hours ago. So I don't want to spoil those kind of like plot points for him. So
no problem.
Let's do this, but spoiler free for now.
All right. I think it was pretty good overall. It is a lot to read. I will say that much. Like it's one of the few like modern books where it's just like you need to give yourself a little bit of time to read through it and see what's going on because there's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of stuff going on. But overall, not too bad. It made me definitely curious to see what's going to happen further along, and look out for certain titles that are going to help explain what happened in this book. So I liked it. I had no problems with it.
How about you?
I don't know. I didn't have the same like emotion after reading this book as I did from like DC Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there's the inevitable comparison.
I mean, well, especially at a $6 price point, you got to compare it to something.
Yeah.
Geez, come on. I liked the reveals. I liked how they did that. I liked the narrator once we found out who that was. Man, I'm trying not to say anything. But no, I really dug it. Like, as far as a starting point, yeah, there was a lot in there that didn't need to be there. There were several like single pages with characters that just could have been left out. There was no, you were just putting them in there to draw them. I mean, it didn't really matter. So, but overall, it's okay. It wasn't amazing.
There you go. That's the same feeling that I had. It was okay.
Yeah.
It felt it was very similar in a few different ways to Rebirth. You know, they were promising like hope and optimism. They were talking about the characters, but there was like the larger narrative where you could tell like those things that they were thinking or saying were actually they were talking about the company itself. Like, we lost our way.
Yeah.
And we want to get back to this and that and the legacy. The whole thing where they were going way back in time and talking about, you know, different points in time of the universe's history. That was very DC Rebirth as well. All the different covers. There was a few different ones for Rebirth as well, right? There was 3, I think there were. So this had a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
More expensive, more covers, a la typical Marvel. And I guess it was just kind of like another 0.1 issue, right? I mean, we've seen those with like all new Marvel Now 0.1, you know, that's when they do the relaunch and we get like, you know, what's going to be coming for the new marketing campaign. So it kind of felt for me, I guess, utilitarian. Like it served its purpose. It gave us kind of like teasers of what's to come.
Right.
But the story was kind of like disjointed. It really didn't flow like it did with Rebirth. Like that story had some style to it, some artistry to it. It was fun to read. This was like, okay, I'm gonna get through it so I know what's coming. And it didn't leave me wowed, I guess. Like, it left me like wondering what's gonna happen, I guess, with the different story arcs. But I wasn't like, wow, this was awesome. I'm so glad I spent $6.
Yeah, they're pushing Star Brand really hard.
Yeah.
What do you
They
do?
really are. Like, okay, you new universe, you want that to come back, don't you?
I guess, but I mean, I don't know. I'm optimistic, but it was just kind of okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. Trust me, I'm not gonna be like, you gotta get this. You know, I thought it was kind of cool. I just like you guys say, like, you know, there's for what it is. Okay, you know, it's a starting point, but you know, you better follow up with something, you know, that's good to keep everybody interested, because you know, if it ends up being Marvel, I think is really I don't want to say on their last legs or anything like that, but with a lot of people, as far as, you know, the way that they feel as collectors and everything, I think Marvel has kind of slapped the audience in the face one time too many with events and things like that. So it's just like, at this point, they have to kind of deliver, because if not, people are, you know, I think people are going to just get a little bit fed up and be like, all right, so the next big event, the next big thing that you need me to buy, I'm not going to, because I'm not going to get screwed again.
It's the whole like boy who cried wolf thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, you know, how many times are you gonna get fooled in the, you know, doing the same thing and buying, you know, this really expensive issue just to find out that it's not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna, you know, start out however, and then kind of leave you off, and then you're gonna be like, so at the end of this, I dropped all this money for something that is inconsequential.
Yeah, and I mean, it was written by Jason Aaron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I normally dig most anything he writes, but I guess my expectations or my hopes for this book were really, really high, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't exactly get what I was hoping for.
Well, my hopes aren't high. I think I'm approaching it just like I said. Like for me, I'm a little bit apprehensive at everything, so I'm kind of I am a little bit expecting big things. But like I said, so it didn't drive me away, but it also doesn't have me beating down the comic book store's door to get another copy of it to find out what's going to happen next. So I'm curious. I am curious, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think Jason Aaron was a great choice to write this. He's one of the few people who's kind of had some quality, right? This overall Thor that he's been writing has been fantastic. But I think with this, kind of feels like his hands were tied with editorial. Like they were like, you need to do this and this and this and this. And that really kind of like checking those boxes in the story really prevented him from kind of doing his thing,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, I mean, you could tell they wanted to hit a lot of different points. And it seems like, a story like this, they wanted it done in a specific way. So I can definitely see how, he was most likely, handcuffed into doing, being creative, but not too creative because, we needed to tell the story that we want you to tell. So.
Yeah, exactly. Philly Superman said his event, Original Sin, was the best event Marvel did in a long time. I think I agree with that. I think that was a really great story, and that gave us a lot of threads that they carried through for a while. Actually,
yeah,
I mean, one of them obviously is
new characters with
like the unworthiness, right? That's been going on for a while.
We also got Silk out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like we got. There was a lot that came out of that did actually carry forward for a while. So, and it's still going on. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it was only like. Just recently, we found out what Nick Fury told Thor. So
that's right. Yeah, it's been a couple of years. So yeah, I mean, usually with the Marvel events, it's like, boom, last issue, reset, everything's back to the status quo, right? Yeah, that's one of the few times when things have been not only trickled out, but for so long afterwards. So I think the Original Sin is a great choice for one of the best events they did. So. Yeah. Seeking Nearman said that Legacy was a decent read. And he loves that the beer truck driver is back.
Yes.
That's how I'm going to put it.
Is our hero.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I think that we are kind of on the same page there. It was just sort of like, okay. I mean, I see where you want to go, so that's cool. But it wasn't like an amazing issue. It wasn't like, yeah. One thing I did notice was that there was a lot less advertisement, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed too.
Yeah.
They gave you a lot more, just story for the book itself. So, I mean, on that end, I mean, it didn't hurt so bad to have spent $6 to actually get more story. But, you can't expect that to be the trend that continues forward because, that ad money helps pay for a lot of things. So, I think it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, we'll give it to you today, but don't get used to it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm looking through it right now. So far I've seen, hold on. There are virtually no ads.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like that was noticeably markedly different than normal issues from Marvel.
Right, where there would normally be there's a Toys R Us ad and there's an AlexRoss.com ad.
Yeah,
everything else is related to is an ad, but it's a Marvel ad for Legacy books.
Right, so, and a lot of times with Marvel, they're like, oh, you're gonna get like 20 more pages, right? But 15 of those pages are ads, right? So you're actually getting 5 more pages of story. This is a really thick book, but we got that much more story with it too, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely a good thing about it.
Yeah, that makes the price point not hurt as much.
Right, exactly. Yeah. One of the other things too, kind of tied in with all this, and I think it might have been in that FOOM issue. I think it might have been, is that there's a tease of Jonathan Hickman coming back to Marvel to write. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know what he used to write, and I love that. And I hope that would be something. Huh?
You mean to say that?
Did I mean to say that?
That it's fantastic.
Yes, yeah. No. I didn't. Budget picked up on that though.
Subliminally.
I'm just naturally punny.
Hey.
No, so I think that would be great. Whatever he writes, I really like his stuff. So whatever he wants to write. He does what's it called? Black Monday Murders.
Right.
You guys read that at all or through Image?
No, I haven't.
It's typical Hickman, like super like in depth, and like you got to really pay attention to what you're reading. There's a lot of story there. Yeah. Really like sort of high concept, you know, like gods and monsters, and it's cool. If you like Hickman, you would really like that. So whatever, Seeking Near Mint agrees. Fantastic.
Please have him come back to the Fantastic Four. That would be awesome. That would be the awesome way to bring them back.
Yeah, exactly. I think that might be. There's the 2-in-1. I think it is.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be Johnny Storm and the Thing, right? That's called, that first arc is called The Fate of the Four.
Yep.
So take that as you will. There was a couple reveals in Legacy. I don't know if anything around that's tied to it. And it's not what you guys, if you haven't read it, are thinking. It's something else. So I don't know if it's that something else or the something else. I'm really trying to not spoil things.
Right, I know.
It's hard.
Yep.
Yeah. But Hickman would be cool coming back. So
that would be very cool.
Yeah. There's some promise of some really great things to come. So I hope they deliver. That was one thing that this issue did, was make some really good promises.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, the thing that, you know, I'm glad that they gone ahead and made some promises to begin with. And like you said, they have to come through with them. The only thing that scares me is that this is the same, you know, this is the same company that when Secret Empire was getting so much flack, I was like, listen, just let the story play out. Trust me. Don't hold any judgments until this. So it's just like, you know, they knew they were putting out something a little bit subpar. You know, I hope that they just, you know, really didn't, you know, just overshoot everything and like, we're going to make all like kind of like, you know, just crazy promises. And then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, we really can't come up with all this stuff, at least not the way that you would hope it would happen. But still, you know, we got this. You know, isn't this fun? It's just like, yeah, no, you slapped us in the face again. So,
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. There's some typical shenanigans going on with this company that, you know, I don't think they're going to be able to shake overnight. You know, with the price points and all the hoops, right? With the I'm drawing a blank now. What I'm trying to say. The incentive variants. There we go.
Yeah.
And the percentiles that you have to unlock, like that, all that stuff is like it's still there. And I know we've talked about that before, but hopefully that kind of stuff will go more towards a DC sort of model where it's like, okay, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's like, you know, here's cover A, here's cover B. Sometimes the cover B, it might have a shiny cover and it's $1 more. But some of them are returnable, and it's pretty much all you got there with the DC variant program.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a couple ratios, like there's some like Jim Lee 1 in 500 or something like on the DK3, but those are few and far between.
No, so, that would be fine if they did that, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to get things under control because, you know, we all in the past, I would say 2 years have just really seen so many variants come out. And you know, I mean, books that have no reason having variants. I mean, you know, Black Panther #3 and there's 7 covers. Why? Like, what's like? Does something huge happen in this one? No, it's just #3. Like, we just figured you guys like multiple artists doing the covers.
That's right.
Like, you know, and then it's just, I mean, there's no real. It just seemed like at the point that they were just putting all these covers because, like, well, we paid this guy to do it, so here's all these covers for you. Have fun. But
yeah,
yeah, nice cover A, cover B, and then maybe, you know, for the Milestone issues, a nice little, you know, extra variant cover, that works for me. I can dig that.
Yeah, exactly. So be picking those up if you like the art. That's ultimately what it comes down to. There's other options there, but really pick it up if you like the art. But so let's move on. Speaking of art, I really love Psylocke covers, and I'm a big fan of Psylocke. So I was happy to hear the interview that Olivia Munn did with Collider, one of the websites that has a lot of really great news and interviews and things like that. So she was talking, they were talking to her about her character, and that she might actually be coming back for Dark Phoenix. She said she was directed to be vague. She was like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say here. Like, I'm not really good at this kind of stuff. So she actually mentioned a couple things that she may be sort of coming back, but also she mentioned that Dark Phoenix, she used the term two-parter. She said, Dark Phoenix is like a two-parter. So that is pretty new news, and maybe, I don't know if she slipped, misphrased, whatever, but that's pretty significant, saying that it's a two-parter.
You know, I don't know with that, two-parter. Okay, so what can we expect? Like what should we even think? Like, I mean, it seemed like in the Apocalypse movie, she's already has the Phoenix, inside of her already. So it's just like, and it seemed like she's already had some kind of Jean has already had some type of issues with it and stuff. Like, as people are like, oh, she's a freak, and like around the mansion when she's reading everybody's mind and everything.
Right. And then it was teased at the end,
Yeah.
Of
So I wonder if, like, they'll kind of do like an It scenario where it's just like, you have younger Jean into adulthood, like a lot of flashbacks, that kind of show, the dark side of the Phoenix, or her, becoming a little bit out of control with that power.
Yeah, or her like trying to control it since she got a taste of it with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Or like, it's definitely something that she'll probably still try to manifest, and then it'll probably just take over, Or it'll make a duplicate, and real Jean will be in a cocoon under the ocean.
Yeah, there's a few different stories they can pull from.
Yep.
They can go to space. Actually,
them making it a two-parter, though, does allow for a lot more. Even if it's going to be on Earth, if they're doing a two-parter, we could potentially have, like, the Shi'ar or somebody show up on Earth, It could be... Yeah. Just the scope of making it a two-parter makes me more excited for it.
Yeah, it allows for a lot more story.
Right.
I mean, it sounds obvious to say that, but,
it really does.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked Olivia Munn as Psylocke, but I think that, like, her character was kind of miswritten. Like, she didn't have really any dialogue.
Yeah,
so that was disappointing.
She had like no conversation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then she even on screen, as far as even the fight, she was really just kind of pushed to the back. So it was just like, she was more that shock value in the beginning. Oh, Psylocke's in this movie. And then after that, it was just kind of like, what the hell happened to Psylocke? Like, where'd she go?
Right.
So.
Yeah, and then she just kind of like standing around.
I'd like to see more of her in that movie. I think that to kind of put Psylocke in a better light, at least to give her, whether she's going to be a villain, hero, whatever she's going to do, just having her, explored more, I think would be a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Another person that is in the news, another lady, is Michelle Williams. It was announced that I think today or yesterday is in talks to join Tom Hardy on the Venom project, the Venom movie. So they said that she may be a couple of things. She may be a district attorney, or she may be a love interest, which would obviously mean Anne Weying. Anne Weying is the ex-wife, I guess, that became She-Venom eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So that the book has been a speculation pick for a while, based on a rumor, about Dan Weying. But this kind of like is further confirmation that might be a good spec pickup.
Yeah.
What issue is that?
Oh shoot, I'm trying to remember. I just had it in my head. It's the second issue. It's Sinner Takes All, right? Help me out, guys. It's her on the cover. I can't remember the issue name. Someone else say it.
Is it you talking about the one with the she Venom on the cover?
Yes.
Oh, isn't that like
No,
oh my god, it's
not
like
about
I forget. Actually, I've seen it a million times, and actually,
yeah.
that book has actually gotten it's seen a rise because the first, I guess, initial speculation of a female symbiote, like that's the first thing people went to. So it went from basically a dollar bin book to like up in like the $20 range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is Sinner Takes All. Number 2. Yeah, I thought that was right. No, it's not. Is it? No. I don't know.
Everybody go buy the book that we can't think of.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, you know who would be able to pick it up and show it to us? Edwin. I guarantee you he has it. Like, oh, you mean this? Like, yes, that's the one.
I got it graded. Yeah, all right. So we don't know. It's okay. Bride of Venom. Hulk 181, Seeking Near Mint Comics. Thanks, man. That's where it was.
Go out, get one. Those are easy to get. So get one.
So, all right. Let's put it. So, yeah, you're right. Sinner Takes All number 2 is a cameo. First full appearance is Sinner Takes All number 3. And then her first issue as Anne Wenning is Spider-Man 375. Amazing Spider-Man 375. It's a shiny cover. I know that one. I have that one.
The gold cover.
Yep. So, out of those right now, it seems like the issue number 3, I think, is the one that people are looking for. But you still should be able to find 375 in dollar bins because I think I got it one year for free comic book day. They're just like, yeah, you want a shiny cover? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, that issue should still be around. So I don't know if you heard that, Jesse, because you just kind of popped back in. But so Amazing Spider-Man 375 is the first Anne Wenning.
That's right. Anne Weying.
Wenning, whatever.
Yeah. And then she became She-Venom.
And that's Sinner Takes All.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just saying that, like, that book should still be easy to get because I remember one year for free comic book day they were giving it out. So that shouldn't be too hard to get. Uh-oh, he's no longer present.
Am I there? Hello?
Yeah.
You blacked out.
Disembodied voice.
Like you don't even have an icon right now.
I am an icon. Thank you.
Your icon, no?
Oh. Let's try this.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Hey now. There you go. That's your book. That's your She-Venom book.
Yeah. And then the other one is the that gold cover 375.
Mm-hmm. But this is the book that everybody's been going after for her.
Yep.
And if that's what do we say, Michelle Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny part is that this is, I think, this would end up being the second movie that she ended up working with Tom Hardy on because they were both in Inception together. And, oddly enough, it just seems like that crew seems to do a lot of movies together. Like, was it Tom Hardy and I forget her name, the girl that played Talia al Ghul, both in Inception together. And now you have Michelle Williams and Tom Hardy. So it just seems like they always kind of bounce around and find themselves in the same series together. So if you haven't seen Inception, good movie. And everybody that I mentioned is in it, including Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's right.
So,
All right, cool. So let's go on to the next thing here because we're getting a little. Actually, we started late, so we can go as long as we need to. But we talked about this a while ago. It was a rumor, but now it's officially confirmed by Dinesh from Valiant that Dave Batista is going to be Eternal Warrior.
Cool.
Yeah, he was cast. He's officially going to be playing that character. So pretty cool. Jackio, I wanted to let you know that because you are a big Valiant fan, as are we. So wanted to make sure I put something in there for you. Next thing we have actually something that came out. It's been out for a couple weeks, but it was big in the news this week. Is there was a alternate deleted scene from Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember the scene where they were where Spidey was talking to Prowler?
Yep.
Right, and they were in the car. So the deleted scene is him stuck like with the webbing to his car, and he can't get away. He's trying to like get it off of there. His phone rings or something, and he says something to the person on the phone, and says the name Miles. So that's pretty near. Yes, it's a deleted scene, but it's a pretty good confirmation of Miles Morales officially being in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's really cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, in the movie, he said that things something like, "I have an 8-year-old nephew that I don't want to get, that I want to see, grow up safe." So no mention of an actual name, but everyone put two and two together. But that is pretty cool that to see that potentially Miles Morales is going to end up in the cinematic universe somehow. So definitely cool.
Yeah. So I was wondering too, like we were talking about the Venom movie, and they've been very adamant about there's going to be no Tom Holland connection in it. There's going to be no Spider-Man in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if this tease is meaning, and with Venom, they're kind of borrowing a little bit from Ultimate Venom's origin, right, with the lab and stuff. So I'm wondering if maybe Miles will be the Spider-Man that shows up in the Venom movie.
Well, I mean, does that mean that it's set further ahead in the future? Like,
they can kind of adapt what they need to. Yeah.
Or is it in the Ultimate Universe?
Yeah.
Now the main MCU.
Right. So this is like tied to it, but it's the Ultimate line.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, they could totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a way to still have a Spider-Man, but still say that they weren't lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, at least that way, that's how you can have a franchise. Because, I mean, you have someone to fight him. Instead of it being like, we're going to put everything in one box and hope that, people come back and want to see it again. So I think that would be kind of cool to see Miles at least have some type of Spider-Man in the movie, I mean, to some extent. I mean, even if it's just like, he's just going around the city and maybe, this movie he avoids him, but it's just like, then you have a, deleted, not deleted scene, but end credit scene where they meet up and look like they're going to fight. You tease like they're going to fight and then fade away. That would be awesome.
Nah. Just something I wanted to throw out there for you guys. Nevertheless, it was deleted, yes, but they shot the scene, they wrote the script. It was originally supposed to be part of that. I think that actually that Captain America thing at the end replaced it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they took the time and all the effort and money and all that to shoot it, that tells you about their intent. Like it's definitely going to be a character that they want to include somehow going forward. So that's cool. I like Miles.
Yeah, Miles is a good. I mean, yeah, he's a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he almost said Superman.
I know. He'd be a great Superman, but
yeah. All right, cool. Speaking of Superman, we'll talk about Superman's relative, Supergirl. There's a British actress, Amy Jackson. She's a really famous Bollywood actress. She was cast as Saturn Girl for Supergirl in the CW.
Nice.
Yeah, so Saturn Girl, founding member of Legion of Superheroes and all that. So I think it's really cool. Yeah, it'll be cool to see her on the show, and I wonder what they're going to do kind of with the Legion as a whole. That's something that we've been missing from DC in general for a while, right? We've been missing JSA, we've been missing Legion.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. I mean, I think that the Legion opens up so many more, you know, heroes and just a whole different, you know, area for, you know, just all the, I guess, Kryptonian and super folk to go into because, I mean, basically the Legion is you know, modeled after Superman, in you know, the old Superboy comics. You know, he used to, you know, team up with them and everything. So that I think is kind of a cool thing to add in. Like it would be awesome to see, you know, the Legion get themselves, you know, just actually put together. You know, if it's just, you know, maybe Saturn go this season, then Lightning Lad next season. You know what I mean? And then you know, you have all three of the founding members, and then just go from there and make their own series. Like that's a smart way to do it. Because I mean, I would have no doubt that you could easily do a show with the you know, the Legion of Superheroes. Like I mean, and just add new heroes over time. You know, expand it out, new villains. That would be actually a really fun show to watch.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be cool. Do you guys watch all of the CW shows?
I've missed out on a lot of them. I have to, you know, catch back up, but through the power of Netflix, I can do it. I just need to have a good, like, solid chunk of time to sit down and watch everything.
You got to talk to Comically Flawed. He went from watching zero to like catching up this like over the summer till now. Like he's killed them all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Multiple seasons, multiple shows.
Everything.
Wow. Okay.
From Arrow season 1 to now, everything. he's a beast.
Yeah, I guess so. He said only 5 more episodes left he's got to watch, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time before everything starts up.
Yeah. Nice. Gomez asked if you guys got Spider-Gwen 24.
Nope.
No.
No. It's on my poll. I pull that. It's in my sub box, so I haven't picked it up yet, but that's
not next issue Gwenum.
As her first appearance, yeah, it was speculation, like, oh, is it going to be 25, 24? But Jason Latour said, yeah, it's issue 24. First full Spider-Gwen. I mean, Gwenum.
No, nice. I mean, we can go back and get it. I saw a lot of those.
Might have to go back on Saturday and pick up a couple covers in that book. No, I'm just playing. There's always a reason to go back.
Yeah, there's the regular cover, and then there's a Venomized cover as well. So
I might have to go back for another variant I didn't get. But
yeah, there's always something else we need to go pick up, right?
You what?
There's always something else we need to go pick up.
There always, or a back issue, or bags and boards, or another box, or
any number of things. If they sell water in the store, you know what? I'm really thirsty.
That's right. Any excuse to go. Venomized Gwenum Gomez is still Gwenum. That's I don't know, right?
Would that be Gwenum squared?
Gwenum num.
All right.
I don't know. I'm running that
Just
through
had
my
a
head.
Gwenum inception moment.
That's right. All right, so this is pretty cool news. Well, it isn't, in my opinion. But the Russo Brothers are actually adapting Deadly Class. You're going to be like a pilot. Cool. But my apprehension is that it's going to be on SyFy. So I like some of the SyFy stuff, but, you know, they do Sharknado. But
it's hit or miss.
Yeah, I was going to say that means you have about the same amount of speculation as you would with the Inhumans, because, I mean, for everything that comes out of SyFy, you know, minus the really horribly bad movies that they know they make that are terrible, because and now it's just, you know, has that camp value. There's a lot of series that they try to make and really have a serious approach to that, you know, you see that one season and done. So, yeah, I can definitely understand you have an apprehension of it, where it's just like, you know, even though you have 2 really good directors on it, you know, they may end up wasting their time because the ratings and everything like that. So, you know, if it comes out great, awesome. But if it doesn't, you know, it's almost like you really aren't going to be that far surprised because of the fact that it's on SyFy. If it was on any other network, you give it a little bit more of a fighting chance. But SyFy just, it seems like it's an idea graveyard. Like, there's so many ideas that come out. People put them on and be like, oh, like yeah, this is fun. Okay, yeah. I don't need to see this ever again, but it was fun the first time.
Yeah, they're gonna have the Expanse. They're gonna have Krypton. That's the Superman prequel. We talked about that before.
Dark Matter, people. If you haven't watched Dark Matter, all 3 seasons are on Netflix right now, and it's a good show.
Yeah. Did you guys like the Purge franchise? They're doing a TV series for that. They're also doing Tremors. I don't know if you guys like.
Yeah, Tremors has been around for a while.
Yeah, Tremors. They get the Killjoys. I haven't seen too many episodes of it. Winona Earp is pretty good, right? And then something like this. We talked about it yesterday, actually, really briefly. But The Expanse is a really great, if you're looking for a sci-fi show, really great sci-fi show, and they touch on some of the bigger questions of like humanity, I guess, or like existentialism that like a good show like The Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation, touched on. So if you were a fan of that, I think you would really like The Expanse. It's like a Star Trek, but not Star Trek type of show. So that's cool. They got 12 Monkeys. I really like that movie. I haven't seen any much news about a show, but that's supposed to be coming up. And then I think you mentioned Dark Matter. That's pretty good too, right?
Dark Matter is really good. They did 1 season of a show called The Ascension. And the premise of that show was really, really cool, but I think they could only do like a season of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like once the reveal at the end, it was kind of hard for it to go forward.
It's like, where do we go from here, right?
But it was really good. There's only like 8 episodes or something like that, so it's a short watch. It's also on like Netflix and stuff.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, that's a pretty good list of sci-fi programs that they have now or that are upcoming. So Deadly Class would be in pretty good company with those, I guess, is kind of where I'm going with that. Yes, they do Sharknado and all these like super cheesy things, but they got some pretty good quality content out there as well. They've kind of come out of their own cheesiness shell, I guess you could say. So they're putting out some pretty good content these days, despite their whatever you want to call it.
That past. I mean, that's the nicest way to say it, because I mean, for everything that came out, let's put it this way: for everything that came out, I would say like late 90s, early 2000s, those are all serious attempts at making movies that they just were just like they were just so horribly bad that eventually, you get to, around 2008, 9, it's just like these things are so hilariously bad that they're actually pretty good. And, it's just one of those things where, you just watch them to laugh. And they've embraced that and like, all right, we're going to make the cheesiest movie we possibly can. But don't let them fool you. They made some serious attempts at making some movies that just did not work out as well as they had hoped. And instead of it's like, you go and you make a horror movie, and by the end of it, people are just crying that they're laughing so hard. It's just like,
exactly,
this is not good.
Yeah, but I do like Deadly Class. It's a pretty good read. If you guys are all into manga or anime or any of that, check out, I think it's Assassination Classroom. I'm really tired right now, so I'm kind of like, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I got to look it up now. But it's really good. And I almost kind of feel like there was some inspiration there. I'm going to find this for you guys. Yes, Assassination Classroom.
There's just,
you guys got to check it out.
You gotta love some of the manga titles just because they're so just like straight to the point. There's no like, I mean, some of them are so extremely off the cuff that you're like, what the hell am I gonna like? What's the show about? But then Assassination Classroom, nothing to the imagination with that title.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the scariest class you'll ever attend in your life.
Right.
Good luck surviving till lunch.
Boom. Assassination Classroom.
See, I wouldn't want to go in that. The thing got tentacles. Like, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that would freak the hell out of me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smiley balloon head octopus. That's gonna kill you. Someone's gonna assassinate. It might not be you, but there's gonna be trouble in there.
That's the teacher.
Yeah, no. I would never go to a class where it teaches an octopus.
Yeah. You guys should check it out, though. I recommend it.
All right. I mean,
yeah.
Do you know?
It's on Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Okay. I was about to say, where can I see such a hiring
Such
show?
a spectacle. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
That's pretty good.
yeah, so that's kind of all we had for the news. So let's go around. Actually, I got to tell you guys, I'm going to be going on a trip next week, so I'm not going to be able. Jay agrees with me. Philly Superman said Assassination Classroom was good. I'm going on a trip next week, so I'm not going to be able to do the show next week, but we'll be back the week after that. So if you don't see us next Thursday, don't freak out. We'll be back the following week. But with that being said, let's do our shout outs. We did miss Edwin tonight. He had some stuff going on, so I'm sure I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
But we'll see him on the next show.
All right.
Comic said you're weak, man. It's weak. Going on vacation, taking a trip, man. It's all good. It's all good. Deb Pullica's gonna freak out.
Oh God. Please don't.
I mean, you could always go back and watch an older episode and pretend like it's new. But,
yeah, you get your fix that way.
I mean, I'm sure we'll all have our haul videos. Here's what you do. Watch all of our haul videos or whatever videos people are putting up in succession. So it's like, it's like having the show. Just they all have their own little talking point for a while. Yeah.
Have like 4 of them on the screen, like picture in picture.
There you go. Click play on one for a minute and play on the other.
Overlap them every now and then.
To make it work. Man.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So Jason Smith brought up a really funny sci-fi title. He said, Shocktopus versus Werewolf.
Werewolf.
He's like, it was an actual sci-fi movie. Well, of course it was. They're the only ones that can get away. Now, that's when they embraced things being ridiculous. But when they had, like, I don't even know some of the titles of these things. If you go and look up sci-fi or just put in like history of sci-fi movies, it's got to be like a Wikipedia page or something that like has it. And literally, the first the stuff that they used to do in the late '90s was serious attempts at serious movies. Sometimes they would actually have a pretty decent actor attached to it, and it was just like, I mean, it wasn't until about 2008 when Ian Ziering kind of made a small comeback because of Sharknado that literally it wasn't like career suicide to be in a sci-fi movie. So
yeah, that's where careers went to die.
Exactly. It's like, yo, you're attached to this project. Like, is everything okay? Like,
yeah, very desperate. All right. So what are you guys doing this weekend and the next week? What do you got going on your channel and just kind of like, in general?
Well, for my channel, I got my haul video, and I have some books that I went to I called it in my last video, a microscopically small con, and it really was. It was put on by a shop, and it was just all local people for the most part. A couple of industry creators and stuff, but I went and got a couple books signed, and I'll be showing those off on a video along with my haul and things like that. As far as the next week is concerned, I don't. This weekend, I don't think anything too spectacular is happening. And then I think it's next weekend we're going to the Topsville Fair, which is pretty big fair up in New England. Fun time, great food, and then just a fun time to get out and have some just a good time. So other than that, just gonna be doing like I always do. Go and get some comics. Try to get a back issue, at least one. And just having some fun. Actually, it's coming up soon, and I know it's coming up soon. I think there's gonna be another sale at one of my local shops that I have to check out and see if I can get some pretty good stuff. But I just nothing too big, just kind of just regular run of the mill stuff. Adam says that he has a small con that he's going to this weekend. Seems like all Adam does is go to small cons. Like that always gets me. He's like, oh, you got a small con.
Small cons are where it's at if you're going for the
exactly.
book.
He lives in like the area where small cons just happen to just spring up.
No. He drives.
Oh, well then. I don't know what to say. Like don't tell me that you're not spoiled. Every 2 seconds there's a con next to you. It's a small one, so you're not killing
Must be
yourself.
nice.
He drives hours.
That's right. All right, Justin, what are you up to, man?
Oh man! All right, so my haul for this week's books will be up tonight. So definitely check that out. Because hauls are things that we all do apparently. I'm gonna be doing a review of Cable #5, mainly because I got to get Comically Flawed. I can't leave him hanging. He's desperate to know what happens in the final issue of this Cable story arc before we launch into Cable 151. So I'll tell you, I already read it. It's amazing. It's exactly what a comic book should be. There's even dinosaurs. Okay? Cable #5. It's coming. Don't worry.
I'm sold.
Right? That's all I had to say. That's all I had to say. Okay. Sunday morning comics this week. We got some auction winnings from stuff that I won from Strictly Comics' auction a couple auctions ago, and stuff I won on the Great Legends live auction. Great Legends show live auction last week before that, whatever. So we're going to be opening that stuff and talking about something. So it'll be fun. And also, since we're going to be off next week, I have a small con that I'm going to.
See? Don't tell me.
On the 8th or the 9th, whatever that Sunday is. So hopefully I'll find some good stuff to pick up there.
Awesome. Sounds like fun.
Yep.
Chris has got to find a small con so we can experience what it feels like to be at a fun place.
Well, I mean, we used to have them, and now everyone's like, all these little conventions that used to be nice, tiny, and relaxing are trying to get bigger and bigger. And it's just like, well, now we've grown from this place to this, to this, to this, to this. And it's just like, so a ticket costs you $28 to walk in the door. I'm like, I like that back when it was like $3 to walk in here. And
yeah, like the ones that we're able to go to are like these one-day cons. Like
exactly.
It's $5, and it's just comic books,
Exactly. Yeah. Just give me a day with some comic books. I'll buy a bunch of, basically it's just like a glorified, flea market or something like that. Like that works for me. I like that because it's like I can kind of bargain with people. It's not so bad. But, the bigger cons is just like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Boston Comic Con. I have a lot of fun. But sometimes those smaller cons, it's like, I really just want to look at a bunch of comics and have a ton of just options available for low price. That's it's good to have those every once in a while. I miss those because we don't really have too many of those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should start one.
You can do it.
I would love to. Just need to figure out, convention and event planning and all the rest of it. But at some point, don't tempt me, Jesse. One day I'll figure it out and I'll be like, all right, look, having a con, and it's going to be right over here. It's small. Here's, people, everybody bring the books you want to sell, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, okay. Buckshot Con, $33 tickets.
Also, remember, guys, we're gonna miss New York Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
That's next week. Well, we'll just miss the lead up talking about it. Comicbook.com is having a after party there, so if anybody's wanting to go, hit me up, and I'll give you the details on where that's going to be and how you can get in.
Yeah, good people, good time.
Yep.
Feel like it. So yeah, I forgot about that actually. Not that part, but just that it was coming up so soon.
Right. Yeah. I just looked because I was like, wait, we're taking a week off. When is that hitting?
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of news dropping. So.
Yep.
Yes, stick around for individual channels for Comic Book, the website. I'm sure there'll be stuff going up throughout the week as well. Not just for NYCC, but in general. There's been all this week some new stuff, so it's been fun reading everybody's articles. So that's good. I don't really have a whole lot other than the trip coming up. Just typical picking up my books, kind of saving up to get some bigger keys I have in mind, some bigger books. I don't know, haul video type of stuff. Typical. Got to do a what do you call it? Tag video. Got to do a tag video, so I might be doing one of those pretty soon. But that's it. We'll be back the week after next week for sure on that Thursday. We'll bring you all the latest and greatest that we got. And that should do it, guys. This is episode 58 here, Comic Conversation. See you for episode 59. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.